Good morning, everyone. Let's have some creativity, some conversation, and oh my gosh, I can't go on. Give me another minute, and tell you what, we'll fix this together. Get yours too. I'll get mine. See you in a minute.
10 seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Welcome to Never Mind the Furthermore, your morning dose of creative conversation and coffee with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. Get ready to start your day off right.
Get the day started off right. Heck, let's go for the whole week. Good morning, everyone. How the heck are you? Well, welcome to the extravaganza that is Never Mind the Furthermore. No, on this side, Brian. Anyway, please, whether you're here live or on the rerun, we appreciate you all. And please leave comments down below because that's what keeps the show going. We'll try to answer as many as we can. And anyway, hope you had a good weekend. I had a sensational one. We'll be reporting in on that in a few. But first of all, we had a good weekend because we know that we are covered, and I do mean covered, by Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Did you just see that beautiful imagery? All of those are from book covers that Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics have done. I mean, they are published. They're not just wannabes. They are bees. Anyway, if you want to have them create a great cover for your great book, then you need to go to plasmafiregraphics.com. First, check out the Plasma Fire Graphics Facebook page. Then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and inquire about Jeffrey's really independent, creator-friendly pricing on his graphics work. And it's not just covers, but social media graphics, as well as book trailers. Just talk him up, and he'll tell you what he can do for you. That's Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And let's see what all we got here. Oh, we are part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Rising Tide raises all ships, and we've got entertainment for you all day long, all night, depending on when you find us. But anyway, please go to our Facebook page and give it a like and check up on all the stuff we've got going. And speaking of what we got going, we've got to write our blog for today, but only my Patreon supporters will ever see it. That's right. Part of the perks of being a Patreon supporter of mine means that you get exclusive glimpses at works in progress, also downloadable stuff every now and then, and of course the twice weekly blog. Every blog should have a name. So check us out. Even $1 helps the mission out so very much. And if you want to see your name on this card, check us out at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And I think that's about all the stuff we got going for right now. And anyway, like I said, we were at Kokomo Con this weekend, had a fantastic time. And again, I want to thank Sean and Austin and everyone with the organization. Always efficient, always beautiful. They're a brand new venue, the Baymont, which is a little considerably south of where they were before at the big convention center. But the convention center is changing its business practices. And so Sean found another venue, and it was a really nice, intimate room. We had a wonderful placement there. But also, my wife was delighting in it because she doesn't see me embarrassed very often. You know, there's an old Mark Twain comment about man is the only animal who blushes or needs to. Well, I think I was blushing because Austin was trying to get everyone's attention in this rather large room, and nobody was listening to him. So I piped in. I yelled, "Hey, you guys!" in my best Rita Moreno style, and the room went silent because I am the human PA system. I really am. I'm loud. You have no idea how much I'm holding back right now. I'm like Black Bolt for all you Marvel Comics fans, okay? Except I leave a wider swath of destruction. So anyway, mine includes emotional damage. But anyway, we got it quiet, and then Austin and Sean announced, well, the reason we wanted quiet was we want to say happy birthday to Brian K. Morris. He had a birthday this week, and they got me a cake with my name on it. It was a delicious cake, too. Really good, really tasty. And people were actually coming by and wishing me a happy birthday. Like 4 days after my birthday. So my birthday hasn't officially ended yet. I still have people wishing me well on Facebook and other places. And plus this in person, but I'm like looking at Cookie. It's like, did you have anything to do with this? And she's like, no. You know, I didn't know what was going on either. But anyway, we had a great day. We got some good stuff. My dear friend Dave Laker came by, and he knows what I like, and he's been through my collection of. He probably got a better idea more than what I've got. He brought me 2 issues of the Three Mouseketeers. This is an old Sheldon Mayer series. Predates Sugar and Spike by a few years, but he got me 2 issues of the reprint series from the late '60s. The first issue of the Animaniacs from DC long ago. This was a treat. This is from May of 1995, so it's already an antique. And then just like me. And then we got the first issue of Cartoon Network featuring Scooby Doo. So thank you, Dave Laker. I love you, man. I love you, brother. And he was really nice to get that. And then they had a couple giveaway comics. They were giving away free comics, and they were 2 based on Ayn Rand. So I'm intrigued by these. Adapted by Jennifer Gross. One is adapted by Jennifer Grossman and Dan Parsons, illustrated by Dan Parsons, who does a lovely job on it. Of course, I'm showing you, people with hoods. What can I say? It's one of those. But anyway, and no, can't I? That's kind of questionable. But anyway, it adapts the work of Ayn Rand and tells you how you can find out about the Atlas Society if you are of a mind. And of course, we've got the other book here. Dan Parsons' art is really nice. I will say that they're both adapted by Jennifer Grossman and Dan Parsons, and then illustrated by Dan Parsons. But that's going to be an interesting read. And then I picked up. And I should wait for Ryan Permisson and Ted Davies probably. But I got 2 old Shadow paperbacks from the 1960s. Now, these are not reprints. These are not reprints of the pulps. These are brand new stories that were created by packaged by Lyle Kenyon Engel. Now, here's a little bit of information on Lyle Kenyon Engel. He used to package like science fiction and men's adventure. I think he was doing the... and I blanked out on his name the minute. The Killmaster series. Was it Carter Brown? No, it was one that was from actually the dime novel era. But anyway, a modern version of it. And he packaged a number of science fiction and adventure books. Mainly, he came up with the plot, brokered the deal, got somebody else to write it, kind of like the James Patterson of his day, except he didn't take front and center credit for what he was doing. And one of them was a really terrible series about an alien with prehensile naughty bits, predating Tommy and Pam, okay, or Pam and Tommy rather. But then he hit gold in the late '70s when he hired science fiction fantasy novelist John Jakes to write a book called The Bastard, which pretty much really created the historical romance, heavy historical romance field, like the epic romance field. It became like I think a TV miniseries, spawned a whole bunch of sequels, and that's what Jakes was writing for the rest of his career. But anyway, I got these 2 Shadow books. I'm really happy. Then we stopped at Ollie's, and we got another Archie book. This is another revival of The Shield. And you can see all the creators down at the bottom there. Looks pretty good. Haven't read it yet, but it's a a $15 book that I got for $3. Okay, if you have an Ollie's near you, check it out. Then I came home. To find the third book of the Subterranean Blue Grotto essays. This is the third and final book, and it's got all kinds of great essays by people like James Aquilone, Michael Bailey, Cliff Biggers, Ed Cato, Keith D. Candido, Sean Delaney. Sean, proud of you, guy. Gordon Dymowski, Bob Greenberger, Dan Greenfield, Rich Handley, Barbara Kessel, Paul Kupperberg, and right after that is me, Brian K. Morris. And mine is on the final appearance of Milton Berle as Louis the Lilac, and showing how the production values of the show had dropped along with the budget. But it's a fun book, and right now you can get it and Zlonk Zoxow. Yes, the first one is Oof, Boff, Splat. And the prequel to that is Zlonk Zock Zowie. And we have all 3 seasons covered now with Biff Bam Eow. So definitely check these out on Amazon. And if you buy them on Amazon, see me at a show, I will gladly autograph them for you. And, and then I came home. And then I got this book. This we'd been talking about this last week. We got this in the mail. All right, we got our copy of Jack Kirby, A Personal Journey, Words and Pictures. And I'm going to be careful because inside is the DVD, the final cut with the handsome Glenn Fleming and the handsome Jack Kirby there. But this book is a hardcover and lots of pictures. Lots of pictures of Jack and Glenn. Lots of pictures of Jack by himself. And all kinds of really cool things. Definitely, and it is still going on at Indiegogo. Let's do a checkup on it, and let's update that page. He was at 92% the other day. We'll see what it. It's going to take a moment. He made it. Excellent. I'm taking full credit for it. He's now at 136% of his original $724 flexible goal. He can now officially open a storefront in there in Indiegogo. But definitely check out this book, and I will leave a link for it later. But it's a good book. I'm really looking forward to reading it in its final form. I edited it, so attention to detail. Anyway, we have blown 13 minutes. Let's that's not code. So let's get to your comments if we could, and we can because I'm directing. And first in the gate, of course, is Nicholas Tockard, who has his own show, the Historical Fencing Guild, Friday nights on the Rising Tide Network, and working with Ragin' 2 on Thursday morning, Nerd Bacon with Luke Stone. Great show. And good morning, Nevermorians. Let's get together and take on Monday like the champions we are. That's right, by God. We are the champions. No time for losers. We are the champions of the world. And there's another champion, Michaela Jade. Good morning, Nick. How goes things in the land of swords? And hello, Skunk Rocker. Mwah to you. Mwah to Michaela. And mwah to Nicholas. Anyway, and everyone's saying hello. And Tidbits and Scribbles is on tonight. Bring your questions. If you have questions about how to get to the end of your book, how to start that dang book, how to get your comic launched, anything involving creativity, check out tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on author Michaela Jade channel, all right, on YouTube. Check that out. Check her out. I do every chance I get. And also, she's going to be at QuadCon this weekend. Now, I don't have another show for another month. I left my schedule book in the other room. I only had so much room, and I wanted to show you all my swag, and I had room for this. Hashtag priorities. But do check it out. I will try to be there tonight. I can't promise. And Skunkcracker says, well, what if I just bring my tail? And you bring anything you want, Skunk. It's kind of a free-for-all anyway. That's true. But definitely bring your questions. You'll get a lot of wisdom in there. Usually Dan Holofield is there. Skunkcracker was there last week. And, of course, Michaela Jade knows what's going on. I show up every now and then, as does this fine gentleman, Carl Witzman. Good morning to you, my friend. And did someone say free-for-all? Woo-hoo. And everyone's saying hello, and I'll be around Michaela if needed, and I fixed the headphone cord to hang from the ceiling so Crazy Ken can't rip my headphones off mid-show. Again, that little thing is a sabotager, I'm telling you. So wait, I can bring anything I want to Tidbits and Scribbles tonight? This bodes ill for us. And good morning, Ted Davies Artistry. Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you had a great weekend. And hi, Brian. How you doing today? Illusion of Spiritual Truth. Jake Lindsay, I'm doing great. I hope you are can say the same. And Skunk Rocker says, I hope everyone's prepared for a 3-hour dissertation on tidbits and scribbles about the technophobia of 90s sci-fi horror films and what that says about us as a society in an ever-changing world. In an ever-changing world that we live in, makes you want to give in a cry to live and let die. But anyway, I'm feeling songful today, am I not? But anyway, no, the idea of, technophobia, actually science phobia, has been around for centuries, literally. That's pretty much what Frankenstein was about by Mary Shelley. It was pretty much a cautionary tale about the irresponsible use of science. Some of Jules Verne's books were that way. H.G. Wells were like that. Even up to Philip Wiley and Gladiator, which was one of the precursors to one of the inspirations to Superman. And in the end, and everything that Hugo Danner touched turned to crap. And finally, at the end, he allows himself to be killed. So anyway, John B. Pica, happy National Cereal Day. And this guy would know. Check out the Cereal Box Network. We're newly rebranded. Check out all of his great shows. Good to see you, johnpica.com. And don't blame me. Michaela said, I could bring anything I want, says Skunk Rocker. You do that thing. I say you do that thing. And Jeffrey Hayes says, John B. Pica did the cover for my next novella in the Decoverse. Cover will be revealed this Saturday, March 12th. On back of the cereal box, so please check that out. And good morning from the desk of a small press publisher. I've got to check out the show. I was really busy all day yesterday and ended up not feeling great, but now I'm making up for it. Anyway, from the desk of a small press publisher, check out Joe D. McPhee every Saturday night at 10 p.m. on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And good morning to you, Joe. And all is groovy. We had a great weekend. We had a profitable show. I have coffee. Who could ask for much more? And the current project is moving along, says Carl Witzman. Excellent. Should even be published in the next few months. Thank goodness I am done with this character. You thought that before, Carl. Wait till we find new ideas for you. And Carl is flipping me off right now and training the cat to attack me the first time it sees me. And I had fun talking about Glenn's book. It is pretty good. Still have to watch the movie. Yeah, it is a good book. Isn't it marvelously edited? I think so. But no, definitely, everybody, please, it's on Indiegogo. Look up Jack Kirby, A Personal Journey, Words and Pictures. This is a hardcover book. That's pretty swank. And introduction by Tony Ingram, the editor of Comics Unlimited, writer-editor, I should say, and I got a nice little signage in there from Glenn. And, check out other stuff he's got going on Amazon. And Randy Zimmerman. It's got an introduction by Randy Zimmerman. I forgot. The Zim Meister is in here. Also, Randy has started up a couple shows on Raging 2 Network. Check it out. And let's see here. Oh, and all kinds of cool people there. And the house that Jack built. And just all kinds. It's profusely illustrated. Every turn of the page has pictures. And there's Jack and his wife, Roz. And Jack looking over Glenn B. Fleming's illustrations. Definitely check this book out. It's Jack Kirby, A Personal Journey, Words and Pictures. Check it out. Available now on Indiegogo. All right. And also completed a 6-page comic story where I didn't script it beforehand. That could be a big mistake, but I think it came out okay. No, Joe, you've got to experiment with your process every now and then, because I will say that for most of my writing, my process now is not the same as it was 10 years ago. It has changed in a lot of ways, and I've even changed up my prose writing. I know I said prose. In the last year, about year and a half, to a way that I'm a little more satisfied with it. And also, I think it is more tightly plotted, fewer digressions, which I'm going to be practicing this week, because today, once I get my blogs done for the week, I am going to be writing a short story. I'm so looking forward to it. But anyway, no, if it came out okay, man, that is the way. That's, you got to keep experimenting with it. And what flavor was the cake? It was a vanilla cake, as vanilla as I am. And the illusions. Here's a question for all: which book series did you like more growing up? Goosebumps or Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? I was already an adult by the time both of those came out, so I can't give you an answer on that. And that is a good present, Brian. This is seriously, it is. Joe, I think I had a really blessed weekend. I really do. So by the time your show came on, I was exhausted. In fact, I think I went to bed about an hour before you came on. I was exhausted. I think it was peopling. For somebody like me, believe it or not, I'm empathic and tend to be introverted, believe it or not. And so sometimes peopling exhausts me. And then we went out yesterday after we were out with Cookie's best friend. And hi, Robin, wherever you are. And and Robin assures me she will do the show naked. Anyway, and she's like, "Ow!" Anyway, but after we dropped her off, we went van hunting. We are in the search for what we call Calgon. Older people will recognize that reference. But we went to some nearby car lots looking for possible purchases, and we're hoping to get that soon, because otherwise we're going to have to fix my car up, and it's developed a couple of serious issues in the last couple of weeks. So I'd rather get a new van and play with that. Anyway, Ryan Permisson has shared this show. Thank you, Ryan, as always, my friend, and always beautiful, always lovely, always amazing Keisha Acuff. Mwah. Check out her brand new book, all right? It's on Amazon, I believe, and definitely give that some love, as we love you, Keisha. Mwah. Hope your weekend went well. And Ryan says, good morning, Nevermornings. How are you? Hope everyone had fun at conventions and sold tons of books. I did. I sold quite a number of books. I was very, very happy with how things turned out. So, and Scott Crocker says, scary stories by far. I still quote these books. Nice sharp knife. Hey, man, only $5 would make a nice gift for your mom. No thanks. She already has one. Love it, Skunk. Love it. And you need to show Brian Robin those shadow novels, too. Yeah, seriously. They are kind of cool. And one is, I think, like a George Rosen reprint from the Golden Age comics. But this, I'll take it out of the bag, because this one's got a little damage on it, but for the price, I cannot turn it down. But look at that cover there. Isn't that beauty? Isn't that gorgeous? What was a field supervisor of the Peace Corps doing in a London back alley, dead, reeking of whiskey, with 1,000 pounds in English money hidden in his shoe and carrying a pistol? It is a cold night in London, even colder in the morgue. Through a half-open door, the attendant sees a giant, shadowy, bat-like figure bent over a body. Before he can scream, he slumps to the floor. The shadow watches him for a moment, then returns to the corpse. That's the back cover copy. But yeah, these are a couple of the old Belmont series. I've got one other. I think I definitely need the first two. I can't remember how many of these there were, but I was tickled. And here's the time is now. The place is Africa. The situation is death. A mysterious radiogram from an emerging African nation sets Lamont Cranston, the UN forces, Interpol, and secret Israeli policewomen on one of the strangest manhunts in history. What they uncover is so bizarre, so weirdly fascinating and frightening, that it seems to be of another world. A world where only the shadow can exist. A world of darkness where the shadow is master. Ooh, that doesn't make you buy it. I don't know what the heck will. But anyway, that, Ryan, who just recently got a copy of the I think it was 1972, it was early 70s, The Shadow #1 from DC Comics, Mike Kaluta artwork, great Danny O'Neill story. So yeah, I'd be glad to. I'm loving these books. I'm very happy. And catch up on past episodes of Ryan Permisson's, and I quote, on Spreaker.com. Definitely check that out. And Teresa Dunn, good morning. Good snowy Mondays. Keep the snow, Teresa. Mwah. Glad you're here, hon. But you can keep that snow, all right? We have a chance to get some, but It's very slight here. So you use it all. You use that weather front up, and we'll be happy with you. Okay. And Radio Retro Future, glad to see you as always. Good. Really need to investigate more of the shadow, basing Dankert lexicon of the steampunk beginner's guide of the shadow of the audio plays. The shadow in the audio, excuse me, is virtually the same as the shadow. Um, from a certain point on, the pulp producers decided to stay with Lamont Cranston because longtime devotees of the Shadow know the Lamont Cranston is not the Shadow, but the Shadow is Lamont Cranston. That there is a real Lamont Cranston, but he was not necessarily an agent of the Shadow, but he was basically this airhead millionaire who got kicked out of town by the Shadow every time the Shadow needed to adopt his identity. And eventually I have this vision of him, the Shadow, giving Lamont a whole bunch of money and saying, just stay in Europe till I tell you to come back, and don't be surprised if you never hear from me again. But he was originally Kent Allard, a World War I fighter pilot turned mercenary whose airplane crashed in the, I want to say in the Himalayas, where he was found by a group of monks who taught him various martial arts, weapon skills, and the ability to cloud men's minds so that he appears, or it doesn't appear at all. He's invisible. But anyway, that's what I love about that stuff. But yeah, Radio Retro Future, keep us posted on that, please. And the Skunk Rocker, that is one heck of a pitch, says from the Nets of a Small Press Publisher. It is. And Ryan Permisson says, hey, in case you missed it, check out this latest episode of, and I quote, with comic book writer Lucas Keem of Freefall Comics at that address. And also check out the interview with artist Clayton Merwin and new writer Megan Morrison. Also, says Radio Retro Future, Razor Fist has made great videos on the Shadow and Solomon Kane. Do you mean Solomon Kane, like the Robert E. Howard character? I like Solomon Kane. I don't think he gets enough love. The idea of a Puritan spirit, a supernatural fighter. I love that. And I was reading Scary Stories last night, says Jake Lindsay. I read a story where a grandmother stole a corpse's leg bone and corpse came back for it. The grandmother wouldn't give it up. It was hilarious. Or he's hilarious, one of the two. But that reminds me of an old there used to be a show called Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and the great movie director Alfred Hitchcock was the host, and it was a story about a woman who had enough of her husband beats him to death with a leg of lamb. And while they're investigating, she invites the detective over who's on the case, and she destroys the evidence by cooking it up and serving it to the inspector for dinner. So anyway, somebody we'd always have for dinner is Joe Dog McKeel. Hi, everyone. I'm still alive. I just prefer sleeping at this time. I woke up early today, so I tuned in. Glad to have you, Joe Dog, as always. And check out Joe Dog and Friends on Stupid O'Clock Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. on Saturday. Good time, great conversation, which is a little late for me these days, unfortunately, since Cookie's getting up at 4. So let's hope I can stay awake all day. And for this, a Small Press Publisher, you and these people talking about this fictional store they call Ollie's. Poor Joe doesn't have one. He lives in this desolate wasteland called Chicago, Illinois. Seriously, though, the closest one to me is in Indiana, so I can partake of their offerings. Man, I'd get out of town as quick as I could. And the really cool thing is that no two stores have the same thing. Because I went to Kokomo, which is only an hour from me, and I found one of the Archie books that I didn't have. When they did a series of reissues from this era of revamps, and I didn't have this one at my Ollie's here in Lafayette, Indiana. But the thing is, I also visit the one in Buffalo, New York, and they have a completely different selection and with a few overlaps, same as the Terre Haute, Indiana one. So, dude, get on Lakeshore Drive, take 41, follow it into Indiana, and Indiana 41 goes all the way down from I-90 down to Evansville, Indiana. If you go any further south, you're in Kentucky, okay? And I think there's also an Ollie's in Evansville too, I believe. They're kind of in odd places. It's like I'm not surprised that places like Evansville or Terre Haute have one, but there's one like in near Mount Vernon, Illinois, which is pretty small. But they got Marion and but what was Carbondale? Carbondale has one too. So I'm going to be checking those out when I go to Saluki Con at the end of next month. So anyway, and yeah, good in the snowy Monday. There is no such thing as a good snowy Monday, but thanks for thinking of it, Teresa. And check out the interview with cosplayer Crayley Vanis right on that station there with Ryan Permisson. And oh yeah, the bone soup, that's a good one, says Skunk Rocker. And Ryan Permisson says you can also check out the interview with Glenn B. Fleming, author of this fine, super fine book, at that address there, and you need to do that immediately. No, stick around for me. Stick around for me for a while. And Joe Dog, maybe this will put me back to sleep. As loud as I talk, Joe Dog, it's like that old Dick Van Dyke episode. You slept through the Guns of Navarone? You know, I'm the Guns of Navarone. And Scott Crocker says there's so many good stories and it's just every single one of them is a classic. Whereas Goosebumps, hey, your mileage may vary. That's true. I've read a couple of the Goosebumps books, and they're pretty good. They're not. It's just I'm not the target audience for it. I think I'm the wrong age. And everyone's saying hello to Teresa and Illusion of Spiritual Truth. I also read one where a knife scared a girl so much in the graveyard she died thinking it was a skeleton grabbing her. Ooh. And also support Glenn B. Fleming's campaign today at that Indiegogo address. Thank you, Ryan Permisson. And I can't copy that from there. But anyway, definitely check that out. It is a good project, a beautiful book. You'll be glad to own it and learn more about the King of Comics, Jack Kirby. And Skunk, the only Goosebumps I like is the Horrorland series. I loved it growing up. Good deal. And check out Morgan Quaid's Kickstarter today, says Ryan Permisson. Check that out. Shadow's Daughter fantasy thriller Managa, comic 6 issues. Okay, we'll have to check. We'll have to look at that. And we've got someone you think we're always a treat. You must be talking about yourself, Kathy Jackson. Mwah. Hope you're doing well, Kathy. Been following your Facebook page. Hope you're feeling better, hon. And thank you, Brian K. Morrison, all fellow Nevermores. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you on the road, hopefully next month. Man, I'm so looking forward to being on the road again. And Skunk Rocker, the Bite, Harold, the Bite, the Hearst song, just so many good stories and gags, and just that whole series is awesome. And the artwork from the original can't be beat. That's a good recommendation there. And bring Cookie home. We're working on it this afternoon, my friend. And have a safe and productive day, everyone. You too, Ryan. Thanks for showing up, my man. And Nick Tucker says, hi, Michaela. I had a busy morning uploading a secret behind-the-scenes video for my Patreon patrons, of which I am one. Started a new project, The Simple Spear, excellent, and battling the necessities of parental life. Oh, that alone is a definitely a serious combat there at times. But anyway, also check out 1 week ago, Nick was the co-host of the show because I was having a distinct lack of mojo. I'm not feeling it today, Nick. I'm as far as lack of mojo, I got my mojo filled up. I got my cup overflowing. And Skunk Rocker says that's how they re-released the books with new artwork, and art's not bad, but the original art was so awesome and striking that the new art just feels watered down. Well, tastes change. Yeah, and what was prominent in publishing, back at the earliest days of, a lot of these books, like the two we mentioned here, tastes change and different art directors. So what can you do but drink more coffee? And Donna is off for breakfast with her sister friend, so I am without supervision this morning. Oh, dear God in heaven. Is she as nervous as Cookie gets when I'm out by myself? The poor woman's aged 500 years just worrying about me being alone without adult supervision. And a convention is no place where I'll find it, believe you me. But no, we had some great friends show up, and it was just such a fun weekend. And I'm so looking forward to the next Kokomo Con, which I believe will be the second Saturday of June, which means I got to balance it with my Metropolis visit because I really want to go. And Ryan Permisson, I am grateful for this community. Ryan, I say in all sincerity how I am very grateful for it too. They don't know you guys don't know how many times I have been talked off the ledge by you guys, and I've been told we do the same for others, which is good. But anyway, we're grateful for you too, Ryan. You are terrific. You are such a great guy, and we look forward to many years of happy collaboration with all y'all. And oh no, Carl, Michaela Jane is now filled with dread, and she's probably thinking about moving to Iowa if the freaking gas prices weren't so bad. Hey, how much is tell me what town you're in and tell me what your gas prices are. Here in Lafayette, I think the cheapest I found it yesterday was driving around was three like 394. Most places are 399. A couple places were already 4.25. Fowler had their two gas stations at 379. Yes, we filled up the tank. Anyway, Skunk Thing now of all three books in one, and Amazon only $25. Now that's a bargain. That sounds like some good reading there. I gotta check that out. And we gotta check out Rick Bradley. Good morning to you, my friend. How are you this day? This fine kind of rainy day here at the compound, and that's going to happen most of the day. And join us Saturday live at noon Eastern with animator collector Joe Miriam. Check that out on And I Quote with Ryan Permes, and it's great. And Eric Hawkins, good morning to you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. And Carl is alone and unsupervised. Hide the rum. Joe Dog, Carl's already hiding the rum, but unfortunately, he's hiding it inside his stomach. So, he's probably, he's probably up on the ceiling with the cat. And too late, Joe Dog. And Brian! And here is the most relieved man in the world. This book showed up on my doorstep, 1, 2, 3 days late, but it showed up and coming in and made me real happy to see this. And this is a work of art, Glenn. This is a work of Glenn, you idiot, Brian. But no, it is fantastic. Look forward to watching this later. This is also part of the package. And you don't have to worry on this Indiegogo campaign with various levels or anything. There is one level, and it's the express route to education and entertainment. So definitely check that out. And thank you again, Glenn, for the lovely inscription on that. That meant a lot to me, man. And I look forward to collaborating with you soon. And from the Desk of Small Press Publisher, I did release 2 additional videos on Saturday, too. Excellent. I got to check that out. And hello, No Time, No Talk To. Well, hello to you. And Facebook user, unfortunately, Facebook and StreamYard have not spoken to each other well. In the description above Facebook user, there's a link to a Facebook page that when you click it, keep you here. And that's what happens when you stay away too long, but it's good to have you here. And pros from the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, slowly I turn, inch by inch, step by step, and I will simply say that I still will not write a novel. That's okay. But you can hire someone to do the novelization. Hi, Joe. Anyway, John Celestri, good morning to you. Good morning, Brian K. Good morning, John. Glad to have you here. Glad you had a profitable weekend. Yeah. I'm starting the process of fulfilling perks for Bloodwing Angel Chronicles Book 2. I should have them all in the mail in 2 weeks. That is great, John. Check out John's channel on Wednesday afternoons, usually. Dr. John, the OG himself, the original gangster. And check it out. It's a great show where John will teach you about creativity and give you examples from his incredible career as an animator, as the guy who animated the only 10 minutes of the Star Wars holiday special worth watching, as I call it. He was the man who first presented Boba Fett to the world. You may have heard of him. So anyway, John, it's good to have you here. Hope your morning's going well. Hope your weekend was even better. And excellent, John Celestri. I'll have more new things to read. I'm excited too, because I believe I pledged for it too. And someone I'd always pledged to is Cindy Cap. Mwah! Good morning. Took a day off to decompress after a weekend-long show. Woo! I know what you mean. Peopling is hard, isn't it? She was at QuadCon, and give us a report, please, Cindy. And if you don't get any plugs in today, that's all right. You do deserve a day off. And Ted Davies Artistry says, reviewing the Midland Mall Comic-Con 2022. Ted Talks will inform and break down the event. 2 years in the making. Tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on Ted Davies Artistry. And from this Small Press Publisher, the experience lead to another corporate Ted story. And it seems like corporate TED stories have good business lessons to them. The best stories do. That's, that's why we still are quoting Aesop these days. And Cindy Cap, I don't know what was scarier, driving home last night, potential ice blowing snow, or crazy drivers zooming past me at 80 plus. Oh, God. I know the feeling. I remember this was about a month. This is back in '78, I believe it was, and it was about a month after we had a horrific snowstorm that it took me an hour to get to the next town that was 10 miles away, and I still had 30 more to go. Fortunately, emergency services were out, and it was so bad they actually blocked I-74, which goes all the way across Illinois, the top third of it, and we were routed to a little community called St. Joseph, not to be confused with St. Joe in Indiana, where they make Seckler's pickles. But we spent the night there in the United Methodist Church there, and it was an interesting evening, that was for sure. And called my mother, let her know I was safe and everything, and she was going around calling my employer and everyone else that was, where's Brian? Is Brian okay? So sort of thing. But it was an interesting evening. It turned out to be a lot of fun camping out in this church basement. But about a month later, I was driving home from Champaign to Georgetown, Illinois, again, the 40-mile drive. And I got behind a semi, and I thought, well, this guy knows the road. This guy's smart. And the snow was blowing, and I knew things were going to get bad pretty quick. And so I thought, well, I'll match his speed as long as I keep his tail lights. It was dark by that time, of course. As long as I keep his tail lights in my sight, and if he suddenly vanishes off the road, I'll know that there's ice up there. See, thinking. And what happened was, we're driving along, and we're I'm not really paying attention because I'm also listening to the radio and watching the headlights and concentrating on those. And then I look down at my speedometer and realize I'm going 85 miles an hour. And I say a couple of expletives, and I take my foot off the accelerator and go down to a safe speed for the conditions. And I realized that speed, it wouldn't be the truck, me losing the truck's taillights, it would be the truck losing my front lights. So anyway, there's a lesson for you. And Cindy Kemp says, Brian K. Morris knows the shadow. Indeed I do. Anyway, check me out on Smashwords. If you like ebooks, that's a great place to buy my stuff. Carl Wisman says, Michaela, I have an interesting question about writing about a guy without a name. Remind me. Ooh, I have done that. And I will try to show up tonight to give you my advice. Radio Retro Future says, I was referring to how the shadow operates. In the audio plays, the shadow is less guns blazing and more manipulative, get around the review board. Yeah, that's true, especially the early adventures when he had Harry Vincent and Shrevey, and Margot Lane was originally just one of his agents. If you ever see the Alec Baldwin movie with the Shadow, that was very, very faithful to the very early Shadow. But after a while, eventually, the Shadow dropped pretty much all of the agents, and he just became the chief investigator, rather than sending Harry Vincent out, for instance, and telling him, go check out this man here, he has a lead, and contact Burbank when you are done. But what was it? There is a very, very good book released about a year and a half ago by a guy named Will Murray, who, if he doesn't know it about the Shadow or old pulps, then you don't need to know it either. Okay, he is that good, and it's a really fast read. Do I have the name of it across? Can I see it from across the room? I've got stuff in front of it, darn it. But anyway, check it out. Look up Will Murray, Murray, on Amazon. And the book's about $30, but it has the history of the Shadow from his earliest days in radio, the blue coal days, okay? And I'm hoping you know what that means. All the way up to several interviews with Walter Gibson about his tenure on the Shadow. So, very interesting book. You may enjoy it. And just like that guy knows the light, I've got at least three of them shining directly on me for a good picture. But anyway, check me out on Amazon too, where you can get the brand new book, Oof, Boff, Splat, The Subterranean Blue Grotto. essays on the third season of Batman, the TV show. Also, brand new is The Lost Adventures of Captain Hawkland, the Skyhook Remnant. It is a sequel to the Captain Hawkland and the Skyhook Pirates, and it's available now on Amazon for 99 cents. You'll like it. I'm sure you will. And John Celestri says you'll have a fun time with it from the desk of a small press publisher. I'm looking forward to it, John. I did dig the first issue. That was so much fun. And testing out lightsabers, that's Nicholas Anthony Tockard, who's going to show you how to carve up like a Darth Maul with style. And William A. Bove, hello, my friend. Mwah, glad to see you. Love you, man. And hi, Brian, everyone. How are you guys? I hope all is well. I am doing well. We had a sensational weekend. Hope you did the same. Got stuff in the mail. Got one of my new publications out. Yes, I have an essay in here. And bought some back stuff and just had a really great weekend. Made some money at the show and checking out local cons. That's John Pica, John B. Pica, johnpica.com, and check out Night Reich, available on Amazon right now. And also check out the Dastardly Dingoes. They're keeping a weather eye out. Check them out every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Always great conversation on that show. And from Desk of a Small Press Publisher, according to the website, the closest one is in Merrillville. Merrillville's only 90 minutes from me. Dude, if on a weekend, maybe like a Sunday, if you're ever in that neighborhood, let me know. I'm only 90 minutes away. We'll have lunch, all right? And Cindy kept Nerd Culture is dodging twirly winds. Stay safe out there, Nerd Culture, and subscribe to that channel on YouTube. And we have an Ollie's in West Frankfort. I'll visit with you in April. Darn right you will, Rick. I love Ollie's. Because... I think there's also one in Carbondale and one in Marion. I'm going to try to see if I can hit all three, because that's how I roll. All right, I'm craving more of those inexpensive graphic novels, Marvel and Archie. They also got a bunch of New 52 graphic novels at mine. After I see what you guys have, maybe we ought to set up something when something new comes out. We tell each other about, and then we pick it up and bring it to the other one. We can make this work. Anyway, Ted Davies Artistry says, even we have all these up here. Just picked up 80 Years of Batman from there. Great DC book. Yes. And the ones in Kokomo and Lafayette both have the hardcover edition of Action Comics number 1000, as well as, 80 Years of Detective Comics, with a bunch of classic reprints, not just of Batman, but Airwave and The Elongated Man and other really, really great books. So definitely check those out. They're really inexpensive. And for those of you who don't know, Ollie's is a place, it's kind of like Big Lots. It is a remainder store, a clearance store, where somebody will just say, okay, we're pushing everything out of the warehouse. We'll sell it to you, Ollie's. And then Ollie's sells it back to the public at a very, very reduced price. And they have food. They have some electronics, lots of books, pet supplies, toiletries, lawn and garden, automotive, even clothing. They occasionally get clothing in my size, and I'm a full-figured boy. So anyway, small press publisher, desks lighting a fire in the fireplace, hopefully not using all those desks, so the varnish will create toxic fumes. So I hear. Anyway, please check it out. And the good thing about the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, they're family-friendly, like they are scary by all means, but there's no cussing or anything with it. You mean I won't be able to use my F-bomb? Well, anyway, that is good. That takes skill to make them family friendly, Jake. And Breaking Out the Warm Blankets, that's Amy Hale. Check her out on Amazon. Check out Neurosis, her brand new book. That is a seriously good read. And the SI Comic Con is the day after my birthday. I'll definitely be there to visit you all. Well, then we get the gift, it sounds like, Rick. That sounds like fun. That's going to be in Benton, Illinois. I think the first weekend in April. I need my book. I need to get my book in before maybe I'll have a commercial break. And putting garden plants on hold until the evil fluffy water goes away again. That's Michaela Jane. holding the fort in north of Peoria against the terrible, terrible weather to come. But anyway, check out Michaela Jade, author MichaelaJade.com, and also check out her YouTube channel and check out her stuff on Amazon, The Warriors Trilogy. And Scott Gregor says, yeah, but no, Jake, Scary Stories is still where I would say PG-13 is compared to Goosebumps being more G or PG. Just because there's no swearing doesn't mean those books aren't full of gore. That's, yeah. That can make a difference, yeah. I mean, there's a story where a girl's face splits open and spiders pour out. That would be hardcore in an R-rated film, let alone a children's book. That ain't for kids, believe me. That ain't for kids, Skunk. You're right. And Nick Tockards from the Desmond Small Press Publisher, don't know why, but when you mentioned the title of the book, my brain went to the idea of changing it to Poke. The Power of the Simple Spear, me being about Flash again. There we go. And Wood River, Illinois, 419. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's true. And you're in that St. Louis area. So, yeah, you're going to be a little higher than us. But, yeah, like I said, we saw like a couple places around Lafayette at 4.25. Most of them, let's get all my buttons showing. Let's get all my buttons showing. I was obscuring the one I got from on Accordi. There we go. Thank you. Anyway, but yeah, 419. Like I said, most of ours are 399 around town. Actually, in this county and the one to the west, one in the west had 379. But I am hearing about Illinois being a little higher in cost than us. And recently, Myra talked me into a credit card, and it's 10 cents a gallon discount, which came in handy this week. Carl, you can also get one through Kroger. And also, I've got like discount cards a lot because I do a lot of traveling. I get a discount at the what is it? The gas stations at Walmart. I also have a discount card for Pilot and Flying J truck stops. Also, where else? And Kroger. And the thing is that when you buy groceries at Kroger, you get like 10 cents off for every, I think it's $100 you spend or something like that. But anyway, we get a rather handsome discount on our gas, and even if you have used it up, you still get 3 cents a gallon off, which adds up. And with the traveling I've got to do this summer, I'm going to be exploiting these as much as I can. And Scott Crocker continues, and there's also like a lot of death in these books in comparison to like Goosebumps. Like I don't remember anyone in Goosebumps dying. This is straight up child murder and scary stories. Yeah, that's pretty grown up there. Anyway, Cindy Cap says QuadCon Comic and Toy Show / Cool Stuff is back for more fun next weekend in Peoria, she thinks. The weekend after that, Burlington, Iowa Comic and Toy Show, Westland Mall, March 19th. Go to quadcitycon.com for more information. And fuel up there is $3.89 a gallon. Well, good. Okay, we got a good spread here, Ted. Thank you. And Illusions of Spiritual Truth says, one thing you won't believe, I haven't had a Little Debbie snack in 3 months, and I'm feeling better than ever, 238 pounds, and out of the danger zone for diabetes. I don't believe you. See, I didn't want to make a liar out of you. But anyway, no, Jake, that is excellent work, my friend. Well done. And Americans should realize how lucky they are. Petrol gas here is $1.60 per liter. That's about $2 a liter. Yeah, and a liter, I think here translates to like about well, it's we all have 2-liter bottles over here, and 2 liters is approximately, I think, about where near a gallon, I think. So you're not too far from us, Glenn, at least in this part of the world. I do know that in LA, one of my California friends said he was paying over $6 a gallon. I'm terrified to see what Chicago's is. And the Historical Fencing Guild is clearing the snow off the list field. Check out their show on Saturday nights at 10 p.m. And good, Jake. Good for you, my friend. And Molly Daniels, good morning. Molly, I missed you on Saturday. Mwah. I saw your back was messed up. Are you okay? Please let us know. And yes, Glenn, we don't realize how good we have it here in the U.S. A lot of people don't, and I sometimes am one of them, unfortunately. But right now, global matters are reinforcing the knowledge that we're darn fortunate here in the fruited plains. By the way, that reminds me, if you haven't seen it already, a number of us would like to do something to help the people of the Ukraine. And right now, even though their currency has been devalued to where their version of the dollar is worth less than our penny. We still can help the people who are the innocent people who are caught in the crossfire. Airbnb has um, has a franchise out in the Ukraine. They're global. Airbnb is global, which if you don't know what it is, it's a bed and breakfast you can reserve in numerous cities across the world. And they have a number of them in the Ukraine itself. And so what I subscribe to a newsletter called Morning Brew. And if you're interested in subscribing, please let me know and I'll send you a link to it. Because if you subscribe through me, I get a little perk. Okay, full transparency. But and you'll get some great reading on a daily basis. But anyway, they suggested make a reservation in the Ukraine for an Airbnb, but don't go. Don't use it because right now Airbnb Incorporated is it has dropped its percentage. It's not taking a cut of the take in the Ukraine. So the housekeepers will get the full amount. Okay. So if you want to help those people out and remind them that we're thinking of them on this side of the planet, okay, that's a great way to do it. I plan to do it, and we hope you'll consider that as well. Glenn Fleming says you're very welcome, Brian. Thank you so much for promoting my work, and that goes for all the other guys too. It was a pleasure, Glenn. It was a pleasure, and it was a fun time editing. Probably not a fun time you reading all my edits, but it was a fun thing for me to read. And Cindy Caps is comic related madness, so you can stay warm inside while reading comics. Check out Pops Van Zandt's stuff; it is good. And way to go, Jake says Molly Daniels and Cindy Caps hybrids are making snow angels. Luke Stone Studios knows the way, so check them out. And Ariana Bursley, good to see you here. Not getting on the air. Go invade the Ukraine or something. And Rick Bradley says, did you know that Batman Arkham Asylum was originally going to be a rhythm game? Instead, it became the action-packed beat-em-up and video game. Find out more bites of video game info on R&D Gaming coming soon to the Rising Tide, coming soon on Wednesdays. It's going to be fun. And Dodging the Storms in Texas, Bear Publications. Check them out. You can get copies of Cindy Kemp's novels as well as her comic book, Animal Eye, as well as Animal Eye swag that I keep here for comfort and thrills. Anyway, check out Bear Publications. And good morning, Grant Lankard. Good to see you. Hey, guys, I'm at work and can't stay long. Want to say hi and thank you to everybody who's pledged to Beowulf number 3. Excellent. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know good stuff when I see it. Grant, hope you have a great day at work, man. And I hope, hey, you lovelies from Mike, Jimmy, Lorsha, De Bruin. Mwah. Good to see you on Randy Zimmerman's Sunday Funnies yesterday. That was so much fun. Hey, Cindy's here, says Skunk Rocker. That's awesome. I'm still waiting to hear from her on her thoughts on the audiobook. He bites his paw with nervous anticipation. And Carl Wisman, bye-bye Russian porn bot. Thank you, Carl. My porn avenger there. And I prefer scary stories to tell in the dark over goosebumps, says Rick Bradley. Okay, good. I'm glad you weighed in. Thank you. And Grant Lankard, if you haven't backed Beowulf number 3, you have one more day. Yes, definitely get on that. The first 2 issues were really fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out next. So make it happen, all right? And Mike Jimmy Lurch de Bruin goes, at a con I was at this weekend, I managed to get the main picture in the paper. I saw that. I might just get famous one day. Well, that works. And I haven't read the article yet, but congratulations, man. Hope you had a good time at the show and hope it went well for you. And translation, leader is leader, English to English. The reason why English as a second language is a tough course, says from the desk of a small press publisher. Some days, English as a first language is hard to do, even if you're born learning it. And way to go, Mike Jimmy. We agree with Carl Wisman. Way to go, Mike. And Grant Lankard, I'm not going to post a link because my comments never post when I put a link in them, but you can find the link to Beowulf 3 on my Facebook. Grant, it will show up in Facebook. It will show up in Facebook. It's just that YouTube doesn't always do it right. And camping in a church basement, I'm doing that for Mid-South-Con this March. Yeah, well, ours was out of necessity. It was kind of interesting. We had like, 200 people plus in this modest-sized church. It was a modest-sized church. And Carl will know this. It is off of the 4-way stop, the intersection of 150 and the way to Route 74. I tried getting out of town on 150 and my car got stuck. I had to walk back into town and get it pulled out. And then I basically backed the car up all the way back into St. Joe, found that, and I stopped at there's a grocery store there in IGA, and I went in and I was told that the church was opening up for stragglers. And so I went in there and stayed the evening. In fact, at one point, once you got in, they wouldn't let you out. And they said the state police have closed the highway. You can't get on it if you tried, because in Illinois, at least at the time, the official definition of a blizzard was the wind had to be a minimum of 40 miles an hour and snow must be coming down. And we more than met the qualifications, Although I have to say, at one point, I'm walking up and down the aisles, and I struck up a conversation with two rather attractive ladies, and they were like, "Oh, they said, well, we don't see you around here." I said, "Well, I'm from Georgetown," and they're like, "I work in Champaign, but I live in Georgetown." They're like, "Oh, why don't you come home with us?" And I was like, "Idiot! I should have gone with them." I could have like a Penthouse Forum moment. You never know. I'll never know now. Anyway, Cindy Camp goes, QuadCon Comic and Toy Show. Cool stuff in Omaha was a grand adventure. Fun cosplayers, including a terrific Doc Ock. Oh, mine. That sounds cool. Game contest the next day. Big Hairy Spider found a home. Excellent. All the Duck comics I brought went home with someone, and he might be interested in the other 8 boxes. Excellent. That is good news. And Rick Bradley says, also pretty down today between having an argument with my son this morning and the helpline at work not helping, and providers calling in but not wanting to listen. You're probably done with this week already. I understand that, but your son will come back around. That'll happen. You'll get home, and the wee one will coo at you, and you'll become all jelly-like inside, and Donovan will come up and give you a hug, and it's gonna be okay, man. You'll get through this day, because you got the right stuff. All right, you got coffee anyway. I can't help you about work, because work will be particularly dickish, especially on a Monday. It seems it's almost like probably the worst time for checking my DMs is Monday, because I'll check them all weekend. And it's like from the time I go to bed to when I wake up, it's almost like everybody starts contacting me then. And I haven't been on Facebook this morning, so I'm almost terrified to go there. But nothing says I have to open all of them. So that's another thing. So anyway, Radio Retro Future. Hey, brother, good to see you again, says Sean B. Pica. Excellent. We all know the cool people. And here we go. Molly Daniels followed a semi down State Route 41 back in the late 80s, matched his speed, and realized we blew through Sullivan going 80 miles an hour, which is Sullivan is a 50 mile per hour zone. Yeah. I have to say they built up Sullivan quite a bit, at least as far as Route 41. I can remember when it was just a couple of businesses and a gas station, and the men's room was no place you wanted to say do number 2 in. It was, it's like you could wash your hands in that sink and they'd be dirtier than when you started. Okay. It was a total crap hole. Now they've torn that station down and replaced it with a nice new one. But yeah, for a long time, that was a scary men's room. And Cookie told me the women's room wasn't much better. So yeah, but let's not be confused with Sullivan, Illinois, but Sullivan, Indiana. They built up 41 quite a bit between Terre Haute and Vincennes. I remember from Vincennes, except for what used to be a truck stop, it's now like a little C store that's never open, about 10 miles north of Vincennes. They had a great restaurant. The Cookie and I used to go to all the time when we were dating. But that stretch between North Vincennes and South Terre Haute was like the most desolate area. Even in the summer when things are growing, nothing was happening there. Now there's some stuff that breaks up the monotony there. But man, back in the day, when I had to drive to and from Cookies, it was a task, and she said the same problem. Molly Daniel said, "I think I made it from Lafayette to Evansville in record time." I bet you did. Good Lord. Man, that probably like shot out of a cannon. And did you see the Goosebumps and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark live action movies? Those were amazing. It says Illusions of Spiritual Truth. I've not seen any of those. those. I've not seen any of them. And Cindy Cap says Omaha QuadCon continued. Nice site, a few plot twists, but the organizer got it sorted pretty quickly. Good. Overall, my sales were about twice my expenses. That's always a plus. Good show. Weather Channel app let me down. Was not supposed to snow until today or tomorrow. Well, let's see. Let's check hours here real fast. They were calling for snow for us. We may get some around 6 p.m. here at the tail end of the snow. The temperature is going to stay above freezing, thank goodness. It's going to get to 28 about the time Cookie leaves for work tomorrow. So I don't think we're going to go van looking today. But anyway, let's see. Let's get over to, there we go, back to StreamYard. But no, it sounds like it was successful for you, Cindy. I'm so glad to hear that. I got to get in on the QuadCons one of these days. This is not the year I'm looking to increase my appearances, though, too much. Because, like I said, Saturday night, I was just wiped. I was just exhausted. And I think part of that was having to be nice to people. It's terrifyingly exhausting. I don't know how you humans do it. But we went out, we had a nice dinner, and like I said, we got to see some good friends of ours from various conventions and from locals, and yeah, it was just a really good time. It was a real good time. So we're glad you did well. We did well. Life is good. Radio Retro Future, last message before getting back to my own writing. I understand that. That's what this show is to me, too, radio. And Eric Hawkins says we already have 48 signups for the pre-launch page of the Zombie for World of Oz number 4. Woohoo! I'm number 44. I signed up for it last night because, yeah, I have a vested interest in it, but I'm sure not going to, let my support waver. So anyway, were you able to see the skeleton magic trick I sent you a video? I haven't had time to watch it yet, Jake. I've been busy. This has been a busy weekend for me. And Cindy Gap says, Omaha QuadCon report continued. This is great. I'm loving it, Cindy. I really am. The Green Celestial Dragon found a home. Yeah. That's 2 of them. That's great. Two of your works. I came out from behind the table with the dragon wrapped around my arm when a young lady ran up and asked the price, then handed me a pile of mostly ones. How old was the lady? And the question begs, it's like, why has she got so many singles? Anyway, 27 Animal Eye comics bought for CB4K. Excellent. That is what I love to see. Great news, Cindy. And Nick Tucker says, Jody McPhee, the naming is part of an ongoing series. The Simple Sword, the Fighting X, the Simple Spear in progress currently. The Strong Sword also in the works, along with another project that is currently another Patreon exclusive. Excellent. And I'm surprised Jake reads horror like that. Well, the boy is more versatile than we thought, John. And like, I do scary stuff by all means, but when it comes to cussing and blood in movies, it makes me really uncomfortable for some reason. Well, some people just don't like hearing it. I'm in certain situations. I mean, I swear like a sailor on leave. I can clear a room with my swearing some days, but there are some situations I'm uncomfortable with hearing it too. So it's a personal thing. And West Frankfort gas is $4.29, says Rick Bradley. It's in Southeast Illinois. Thank you, Rick. I'm just curious about that. An Omaha QuadCon report continued. I was holding a small dragon for someone, and the guy said, "Oh, how cute, he shivers." And no, that's me, dude. I have the jitters permanently. The Amigurumi characters from Animal Eye brought people to the table. None of them sold. Well, darn. But you can freeze the zombies out of Oz if you go to Comixology and check out the work of Eric S. Hawkins. He's got all 3 issues of the Zombie World of Oz up. And also, go to Kickstarter and look for number 4. Zombie World of Oz number 4. And he's also going to be offering a trade paperback of the first 3 issues. And Stormgate Press is making Igloo. And definitely check them out. They also have the brand new book, Captain Hawkland, and the new mini series from mini books from Captain Hawkland, The Lost Adventures of Captain Hawkland, The Skyhook Remnant, where we find out what happened to one of the suits used by the Skyhook pirates. And there's an example for you right there. And we had a lot of fun writing that. We're going to be doing more for them, I hope. And John B. Pica says, I filled up my tank at Kroger and paid only $2.50 total to fill the tank on Friday. Kroger points, boys and girls. Exactly. And that's why I tell people, and John, I think you'll verify, you'll high-five me on this one. When you stay at a hotel, get on their reward system. If you go to a gas station, get their reward system. If you do any sort of shows, because you get Kroger's, buy your food at Kroger's if you can, because you get points, and you've got about 2 months to use them. So it's a good deal. And plus, Kroger's credit card, if you get it, you get a serious discount on gas for, I think, the first year or 6 months to a year. I don't remember. I don't have it, but I'm thinking about getting one. But definitely, that's good, John. Excellent. Well done, sir. Because yesterday I filled up the tank, or no, I filled up 2/3 of the tank, and it cost me more than filling the tank dry has in several years. This is the most expensive gas has been since we moved here. When we moved here to Lafayette, it was I'm trying to think, it was like $3.67 a gallon. Uh, which made moving not much fun. It didn't help, but gas prices did come down, and it has. There have been times it's below $3 here, but not now. Anyway, from this Small Press Publisher, Nick Tucker. No worries, my mind went there. Not saying you have to change it. My creative sense is like spidey sense at times. When it tingles, inspiration, ideas happen. I do the same thing, Joe. It's like I tell people I'm good with other people's businesses. So I stink at my own. But anyway, Cindy says, Memoirs of a Snow Angel. Check out brianrodman.com and check out the nebulizer and ask him, when's nebulizer number 2 coming out? And you all, gas is over $4 in Nashville. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm thinking in large metropolitan areas, it's going to hurt. And I can only imagine what it's like in, like I said, I have a friend that just paid over $6 for a gallon in LA, the LA area. And I can imagine Chicago and New York aren't much better. And that's okay, Jake Lindsay. I prefer to avoid gore myself. Cookie is the same way. She doesn't appreciate gore one bit. In fact, there's some stuff I'd love to have her read. I'd love to have her read the Invincible series by Robert Kirkman, but I can't let her because it's got some really nasty stuff in there. And sometimes I have to watch things before her to make sure there's no nasty stuff in it. So anyway, 4 liters is roughly a gallon. A liter is a tad over a quart. Okay. All right. Thank you, Cindy. I couldn't remember. So it's like 2 large bottles. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Thank you, Cindy. I've got it in perspective now. Oh, no. Joe Diaz, a fun suggestion, just off theme. I appreciate input, says Nick Tucker. And he does. And Hyper Sandy Books isn't at all concerned about the snow thing right now. Yeah, it's true. Right now, it's probably the middle of the night over there, and probably different weather, too. I know it's a different season. And 1 gallon is 3.7 liters. Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much. And since Sleepy Joe won't open the reserves and drill in America, says John P. Pica, it's time to get the bikes out again. Yeah. I've got one in the garage we inherited from the previous tenants. I may have to get it fixed up. But yeah, the president has said he is interested in looking at it. There are also global reserves that may get tapped temporarily, since a lot of nations are now boycotting the Russian oil output. So anyway, Molly Daniel says, I'm happy to report the back is doing much better. No more muscle pain, and going to try my shift tonight without the back brace. For those who missed it, slept wrong Thursday night and woke up hardly able to move or roll over. Pain meds and heat were no help. Switched to ice, and it worked. That's something we learned from our chiropractor. The first thing we used to do, Molly, was we get an ouchie. We would put the heat right on it. And the chiropractor gave, I think it was when we were moving, and I'd injured myself badly at one point. I injured myself several times, and I'm still dealing with it, unfortunately. But I injured myself, and I put heat on it immediately. And she says, no, heat just, for the most part, masks pain, but you need to put cold on it. And Cookie was like, oh, no, I don't do cold. I don't like cold. I will never do cold. And she sprained something, and right after I told her, you put some cold on that like the doctor told you to. And she was like, I hate doing it. I said, I don't care. You do it. And so she actually listened to me for once and put some cold on the spot, and it helped. And so she's been a believer in cold ever since, as am I. So, Molly, I did miss, Cookie and I both missed you in Kokomo on Saturday. Hope you're better. The next one is going to be the second Saturday in June, I believe. So, yeah, you ought to try to get in if you can, unless you're in the metropolis. But anyway, Cindy Caps is working on Nepalese-based fantasy. That's Victoria Adams, who is a great writer. She's a nice lady, too. And Stephen Rowland has Heroic Trolls. Check it out on Amazon right there. And Popular Tales Redone with a Twist at YieldDragonBooks.com. Meet the Dragons. You'll be glad you did. Denver Martyrs does the color for Animal Eye. And if you want to see Denver's artwork, check out DeviantArt.com, the Raider 05. And before I forget, says Nicholas Anthony Docker, the Lubenzik Center in Michigan City is hosting a number of MC art teachers' works, including Kat Rothermel, one of our own. We love the art goddess. And if you are in the area, swing by. It is an amazing resource. I'd be tempted to go, and especially since I've not met Kat in person. I love her; she's great. And Cindy kept at home with the snow. I don't think Bobby Nash is. He's out of the Atlanta area. They get snow like once every decade, and it brings the city to a crashing halt. So, but I'm sure he'll appreciate being thought of. And my other good news is I was invited to be a guest panelist at PopCon. So not going to QuadCon in June. Thank you, BCAM, for the recommendation. You're welcome. I'm glad to have done that. We are going to have a writing panel at Indie PopCon in June. And I will be moderating the panel. So please show up. I know Amy Hale will be a part of that panel. I think they are going to supply a couple of writers. We'll see what happens. And anyway, I'm going to be running the shebang, so we're going to have fun. And excellent, Nicholas Tucker, says Jody McPhee. And John Pike, a church in Memphis has a hostel, private room for $35 a night versus $109 at the host hotel. No brainer. Well, that's why pre-COVID, I was staying Airbnb. We had one place we stayed at Cape Girardeau, Missouri, that it was actually cheaper for was it 1-2 night stay? It was cheaper for 2 nights stay than 2 nights at the cheapest hotel we could find. In fact, it was cheaper than 1 night there. So we liked it, and we meet some interesting people that way. So it was a good experience. And Cindy Cap says, don't leave your webpage out in the cold. Check with Damian Waldron. That's Studio Hubris at Wixsite.com. And also, if you want to see two nicely designed websites, one, go to risingtide.pub. The other one is go to ckoepp.com and check them out and check out what Damian Waldron does. And Damian is drawing a science fiction story for me that we're going to publish somewhere. So anyway, please check out Damian's work and contact him if you want your website redone at a reasonable price. And Rex copies have been ordered. Thank you, Bonus from Work. And now I have to finish my beach story. Excellent. And Cindy Cap says brown coats in Kentucky are just trying to stay out of the cold. And Redmillion is offering them shelter. Carl Westman says, Dear Penthouse Forum, I never thought it would happen to me, especially in a Methodist church during a blizzard. But yeah, it's like, your mind just goes there, Carl. And it's like, it could wind up, it could be it could be a plot line for my friend Alessia, So, you just kind of wonder, because I was in the market in those days, I'll tell you. Or as I tell people at that time, I was celibate, but it wasn't my choice. Anyway, Cindy Kemp says, poetry to keep you warm. That's Teresa Dunn's poetry expressions. Check them out on Amazon. And but here's the most important question today. It's National Cereal Day today. What's in your bowl? Mine this morning was actually hot oatmeal. Because we had to get cookies started. But here's the thing, John. I frequently have I don't feel like cooking for myself most of the time, and we eat when Cookie gets home. So if I get nibbly, I usually have a bowl of cereal. What was it? Last week was Cocoa Pebbles with marshmallows, and today, if I do it, it's going to be s'mores cereal, which are pretty good. So that's what's in my bowl. What's in yours, people? And getting the snow moved, that's Rick Bradley. And he's probably got some down there near Mount Vernon. So check him out. And John B. Pica, BKM. Hey, that's me. In case you missed it, I sat down and interviewed Mike Grell at Huntsville Comic Con on Saturday. He did a shoot about the John Sable movie. Yes, on the back of the cereal box on YouTube. Thank you, John. I definitely want to check that out. Thank you, my man. Mike Grell, I've met him several times over the decades. He's always a really nice guy. And I loved the Sable TV show. Um, and here's a bit of trivia. Some people don't know this, but at one point, Gene Simmons of the group Kiss was going to play John Sable. And I think he auditioned and everything, but there was another actor that won the audition. But it was the first major role for Rene Rousseau. Uh, and it was a good show. It only lasted about 6 episodes. It was not entirely faithful to John Sable Freelance, the comic, but the comic was excellent, and you can find issues of it out there. Draws things much more interesting than snow. That is the hero maker Clayton Merwin. Check out his work on, and he's up for a Pulp Factory Award, just like I am. I had to get the graphic for it, and I'm also, you'll see it on my page. We're going to put a link to it later on. But I am up for the Pulp Factory Award for Best Short Story, and I would appreciate your votes. For Wednesday's show, we'll try to have that. If not, we'll stop the show and we'll get it. But Clayton Merwin's also up for one of his covers for Pulp Reality. I think it's number 2. So check it out. And I'm checking out the fantastic audio recording of Animal Eye to stay out of the snow. And there it is, Skunk Rocker Live. Check it out. I think there's your answer, Skunk. And Carl, as Molly Daniels, and check out this Life on Cora info to stay out of the cold. Mike Jimmy Lorcia de Bruin's amazing series. I'm so looking forward to my copies. And she could have been a waitress, you pervert. I assume you're talking to me. And Indie Author Book Expo has 3 shows scheduled. Hopefully I'm still in this part of the world where I can get to one. Check them out, definitely. Jen Thompson always runs a great show. I'm going to be at the Peoria and the West Des Moines ones. Okay? Unless gasoline prices get too big, in which case I'll only be at Peoria. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to West Des Moines. That's where Cindy and I met. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. And BKM will have to fill in the rest, Molly. Okay, I can do that. I'll make something up. And Bill Sartan's art on some book swag was very popular. Folks were very much impressed. Go to Bill Sartan's art page on Sartan Art 76 on Facebook for more vintage cartooniness. And Hy-Vee's point reward system frequently only includes products I can't use, says Cindy. Kept darn it. But once in a while, I can get a few cents off a gallon. Yeah. The way the Kroger card works, like I said, for every $100 worth of groceries you buy, it translates into 10 cents off on a gallon of gas within the next 2 months of earning it. And if you spend, like if you get like gift cards and things like that, or sign up for their credit card, you get really generous points on that, and you can take up to $1 off your gallon of gas. So definitely check that out. Like I said, if you're like me, if you do a lot of shows, check out whatever reward system you can get. Like I said, I've got the ones for Walmart gas, I've got Kroger gas, Family Express, which I think is mostly Indiana area. What else? I've got also Speedway. I've got a Speedway card that I don't often go to. But anyway, get as many of these things as you can if you travel. It adds up. And the young lady who bought the Green Dragon was a late teen, maybe early 20s. I reckon she might have been a waitress or something of that sort, where much tips happen. That could be. And wondered if I'd missed something, says Molly Daniels. It could be. I miss a lot here. And even as I'm saying it, and Glenn Fleming says gas prices. Over here in England, people blame Brexit, Americans blame Trump, and the world blames Rasputin. Thinks about it. Yeah. Sounds like a Tom Lehrer song, doesn't it? Yeah, well, and the thing is, I think all 3 are correct answers. Well, the thing is that here in America, we tend to panic when we hear of something, like we've had some shutdowns of gas refineries, like when we had the New Orleans flooding, was about 10 years ago or so, Hurricane Katrina, that they shut down the refinery there. And like the minute they announced we're shutting down the refinery, price gases in the east started going up, and then in the Midwest. And we've had some problems with some Texas refineries. And the minute they say, okay, we have to shut the refinery off, and not even a few minutes later, prices will start going up because people will start panicking. Or they also figure, well, we're going to be stuck. We got to get rid of this gas, and we're going to charge more for it. And one of the things was, I remember 9/11. I got a lot of memories on 9/11, but there was a gas station down the road from where Cookie and I were living at the time, and they had not announced any petroleum stations shutting down. In fact, I don't know that any did. But this one place down the road from us, I think the gas was something like $1.30 or something like that at the time, and they shot the prices up to $5 a gallon. And they, when people went in to complain about it, the regulars went in to complain, they were saying, well, they're going to shut down refineries, and we're not going to get any more oil from the Middle East. So we had to raise our prices. And what happened was people started boycotting that place, and they lost the franchise not long afterwards. And even to this day, there are people that remember, and I'm one of them. So I've never bought anything more than a pack of gum there. Anyway, Illusions of Spiritual Truth says, like with scary stories, there isn't gore or cussing in, so that's why I read. I think it's better to read more than gore movies. It's an individual choice, Jake. So whatever floats your boat, as we like to say, because we're a nation of boat floaters. And well, when I see that oil companies are making record profits, I blame the CEOs for jacking the prices up to pad their bottom line. I think the skunk rocker just cut to the chase here. Yeah, when that reminds me of 9/11, or like when the banks were falling, after 2008, and all these CEOs of these failed banks and failed retirement accounts were immediately getting huge bonuses, or they'd get snapped up by some other company. It's like they mismanaged it somewhere else. Why are you hiring him? I'd fire that guy. Anyway, skunk, salute, man. I think you nailed it. Cindy Cap says the hatchlings all sold. Excellent for them. I need to redesign them slightly so the full egg can close on the egg. Ooh, that sounds cool. That sounds like a good creative problem. One of the mole walkers on Sunday gave me an evil eye every time she walked past. Not sure what her problem was, but she made several laps and glared at me every time she passed. Probably jealous of your coolness. That's what it is, Cindy. She doesn't know you like we do. We love you. And a guy stopped to chat with the guy next to me and left that table, took 2 steps closer to my table, looked at me, then spun on his heels and fled. I didn't know I was nearly that scary. It's probably all the stuff he had on the table. Probably waiting for a dragon to attack him or something. But you're far from scary, Cindy. I love you. And the Illusions with Spiritual Truth says, like, for instance, the Phantom of the Opera play does have scary elements in it, but no blood or gore. That's why I like Phantom and scary stories. And there's probably a version out there with the Phantom of the Opera that's all blood and gore. So different adaptations, and since it is in the public domain, they can do that. So, but it's individual taste, Jake, and nobody's knocking you for it, okay? And 286 words on the simple spear while this show has gone on. So ignoring me pays bonuses, Nick. I'm telling you, I have to get my typing done while I'm on. And John, I don't eat cereal anymore. I eat egg sandwiches for breakfast. I like egg sandwiches because they hold for a long time because it's protein. But every now and then, I just like something sweet like my honey. Anyway, Carl Wisman, I rescued a woman and her daughter once in a storm and took her home. She tried to convert me to her church. I barely escaped with my atheism intact. I hate when that happens, right? Yeah, I hear you, Carl. I understand. As one of the things that happened when we first moved into the house, the site of the first MichaelaCon, one of the first people to knock on our door, aside from the utilities, were, of course, white shirts and black neckties and name tags. And I'm like, they got me on the wrong day. I'm like, I'm in no mood to listen to anyone today. So I opened up the door. I said, guys, glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. Thank you for the welcome. But listen, gotta tell you, as far as conversion, we're on the same side, brother. So don't waste your time on me. Go next door and get them. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Have a great day. Close the door. And they're like, So I did kind of a preemptive thing, and it worked. Anyway, I recommend to anyone. And don't die, please go feed Cookie. Well, Cookie isn't here right now, so I've got a few minutes extra. We will not die. I promise. I will do my best to not die, especially when I'm only 8 minutes behind in the comments. Wow. Cindy Cap says there were a few folks who stopped by my table who remembered me from last year. Awesome. And we chatted for a bit about new products. A couple walking by had a gazillion buns on their jackets. I gave them 2 with Bill's art, and they were so amused they bought a small dragon. Excellent. I love hearing this. And there was a lady who stopped to find out how much I charged for the big dragon that told me that was too much. She makes a 2-foot dragon and charges only $20. Have fun. The big dragons are 2.5 skeins of yarn. $20 wouldn't cover the material costs. Oh my God, no, I wouldn't think so. She might be getting donations of wool, if you know what I mean. Or she's a skilled shoplifter, one of the two. But that annoys me when people say, well, you're charging too much for that. And it just means that either I have a product that they don't like the price on and they're trying to talk me down, or they are totally cheap and usually think I should be giving it to them. This is even back in the days when I worked for the water company. I had people coming up to the window and go, I hate paying these prices. I said, dude, I pay them too. You're preaching to the choir. And they go, well, you ought to be giving the water away. And I'm like, okay. How do you propose we do this? Because we treat the water, we make it safe for you, we put in new pipes, we replace main breaks. How are we supposed to do it? We'll do it from all that money you're charging. I'm like, how can we charge if we give away the water? Well, no, you figure it out. We've already figured it out. Have a nice day. Drop dead. Anyway, Nicholas Soccer says, my breakfast today was and is an egg beater frittata. Yeah, with fake cheese, bacon bits, and cayenne pepper in a spinach wrap, accompanied by a date walnut raisin oatmeal with dried cranberries and coconut. I have to swallow, Nick. My mouth is watering. I'm sorry. And don't anyone be quoting me on that. I have to swallow, okay? Anyway, that sounds awesome, dude. That seriously sounds awesome. I love frittatas. I learned about frittatas. This would be about 20 years ago ish, maybe about closer to 25. We used to watch David Rosengarten, who used to be on the Food Network, and he had a number of he had like a half-hour show of cooking, and he was always fun and informative. And he was like, at the time, he was their go-to guy for new shows. Anytime you turn on, there was a new show, he was the host. I think he went back to freelance writing after a while. But, like they've done it with Bobby Flay or Rachel Ray or Emerald Lagasse at various times. Well, it was this guy's turn. And he told us about frittatas, and I've become a frittata lover ever since then. And what we do with ours, since I am sodium sensitive, we use Mrs. Dash. And they've got like half a dozen incredible varieties, including a pepper and onion flavor that is just out of this world. And their Italian seasoning and Southwest seasonings I use in frittatas. I whip it in there when I'm whipping the eggs. And after you cook some potatoes and caramelize some onions and get some fresh mushrooms in there, it's good eating. It is Alton Brown. It is good eats. So anyway, Cindy Cap says, okay, we did tell this story, and gas prices were really bad when the oil spill happened to the Gulf Coast. That was a really bad situation. Jake and Lindsay, you're right. And we've had several of those over the decades. But yeah, that's all these things. Anytime there's bad news about any sort of fuel fuelless interruptus, the gas stations get nervous. So anyway, Keisha Akov, love you, beautiful people. And Keisha, I love you too. Wow, seriously. Looking forward to hanging with you at Peoria Con. Keisha's going to be in the next table next to me because she's lost her mind. Anyway, but I am so glad. To have you with us, Keisha. And we're going to have fun in Peoria. All right. And Scott Guerrero, OMG, I got to pet a puppy. That's not code, is it? Anyway, Sounds great. That sounds like fun. We all can use one right now. Rick Bradley says, I was working at Walmart during 9/11. We had people calling asking if we were raising our prices to $5 or more. Of course we weren't, and the gas station was crazy busy. Yeah, it's like everybody was filling up their gas tanks. It's like I've been hearing some places that have had runs on gasoline and food because they think that Putin's going to launch the bombs. And the thing is, I'm hoping he's not that stupid because, what was it? What was it? Who did the Twitter thing? I think it was yesterday. But they said basically if, that Putin better behave because if he sends one bullet towards one American over there, World War III begins. And that's not to get too political, but it's pretty accurate. Anyway, his name was Mr. McCuddles Bear, says the skunk rocker, and he was soft and cute and friendly and visiting his mama in the hospital. That's a beautiful name, Mr. Cuddles Bear. I love that skunk. I'm getting the warm fuzzies just thinking about that. That's great, dude. And have a wonderful day. Keisha, you were here. Mwah, how can I help it? Have a wonderful day. You take care, sweetheart. I love you. And Molly Daniels, are you not going to Metropolis? Molly, we're probably going to go up for one day. We've got a busy summer. And, not the least of which is trying to get all my stuff out, so in fact this week we made a list last week on my blog, on my Patreon blog, which you can check out at www.patreon.com, which we list all of our projects for the year that we want to get done. And a couple things may not happen, but we're going to try to plow through that list as best we can. So yes, Molly, we will be going to Metropolis, but we will not be going the entire 4 days. In fact, last year we only went 3 days, and this year we may go 1 or 2 because some of it's also going to depend on if Cookie can get days off. That's going to be an issue. And everyone have a great day. Carl's giving up on us. Carl, have a great one yourself, my man. Give Donna a hug from us and tell her we missed her. And best rendition of the Family Opera was on Night Court. Changed my mind. Rick Bradley, I can't fight you on that one. My Daniels, my breakfast today was 2 cups of coffee. I'm on my 1, 2, 3, 4th cup. So yeah, this is not only this is my breakfast and my brunch and probably a sizable portion of my lunch. Anyway, I make an egg omelet with ham on the inside, put mayo on it with cheddar cheese, and put it on bread. Tastes amazing. I agree with you. It does. I like to put mine in. Sometimes I'll take dried onions and mix them in and just let it sit and hydrate for a minute. Because that gives it some good flavor. Or I'll mix in, like I said, some Mrs. Dash. I remember when Mrs. Dash came out, I was not at all impressed. I did not like it one bit. Although I do like fresh ground pepper. I don't keep pre-ground pepper here at the house. I use strictly, we've got a grinder and I use it. But Mrs. Dash has really gotten a lot better in the last few years because a friend of Cookie's best friend turned us on to it because her doctor put her on that stuff. And I use it. I don't use salt in hardly anything. Sometimes I'll put like a little pinch of it in bread because it's chemistry there. It's not really for the flavor, but it's chemistry. It helps make things happen in the bread recipes we make. Or I'll use just a little bit in some hot breakfast cereals. Or when we make mashed potatoes, I take literally a pinch. Just whatever will fit between my thumb and index finger and just drop it in. And then sometimes if anything clings to my fingers, I'll brush it off back into the jar because Cookie and I are the only two that eat from it anyway. So that's the only salt I use because I have high blood pressure and I've got to be careful about that sort of thing. City Cap says I did sell some books this time. Still more critters sold than books, but that's okay, right? Condemned Career, Medieval Mars, and Moonlight and Claws were the popular ones. Excellent, City. That's what I like to hear. And I'm glad Skunk got to pet a puppy. I am too. It's made him so happy. How in the world can we not be thrilled with that? I mean, seriously, Skunk got a great smile. He's a great guy. I was so happy to meet him and the Stupid O'Clock crew at HalloCon. And we got to get you there too, Nick. one of these years. And did I mention I actually sold 2 books last weekend at the library? One more than I counted on. So yay, good work, Molly. Just wish you'd been there in Kokomo. Missed you, darling. And Cindy kept, don't let the grumpy folks get you down. That's right, Nick. Nick is absolutely right. Cindy, I hope I'm the grumpiest guy the grumpiest person you talk to all day long. Okay? That'll help. And I had a bunch of vintage Pez dispensers, Happy Meal toys, and other stuff. I put $1 each or one clean kid joke. Oh, that's brilliant. Some folks struggled to come up with the clean kid joke, but I got rid of a bunch of them that way. Only 4 or 5 left. Yeah, serious. And oh, that's sweet, Skunk. I agree with Molly. That is. And we should go back to riding horses in public like the Old West. That'd be awesome. Picking up a redhead and running into the sunset. Dude, there is one thing wrong with horses that make it they have their own form of pollution, if you know what I mean. So you think it's tough cleaning up after a dog. So that's the one thing. We need to go electric. And I remember that one also, Rex says Molly Dales. I had to watch the neighbor's house since they were spending the night in Indy to be closer to work in case gas prices soared. Yeah. And like I said, if the price gets too high, I may consider canceling some gigs, and I don't want to. I also don't want to pick up too many more gigs also. But anyway, Nick Tucker said, if companies are loudly complaining about the situation and then quietly recording over 300% profits, I feel no sympathy. High fives, brother. High fives at you. Seriously, I am looking at you, $1.25 tree. Yeah. But that was before the gas thing though, and I'm not seeing a lot of that rolling out yet. So anyway, and wash hands. Glenn Fleming's trying to do an emoji again, and everyone this weekend was complaining about the price of lumber and plywood. Told them to please take the survey and complain to corporate. That's right, Molly. Yeah, that's right. Get something done practical. I love an omelet. Oh, and goat cheese. Oh my gosh, yes, I love goat cheese. That is so good. Mushroom omelet and goat cheese. Finger lagging behind brain. I'm getting a Lord, I know what I want for lunch. And Kokomo was busy selling lumber and plywood to DIYers. I don't care about that, Molly. It's my needs that come first, not theirs. You know what I'm saying? You could have watched them wish me a happy birthday. Thank you again, Kokomo Con. I was so touched by that. And at least the horse smells better than the gas station you were talking about. Different strokes for different folks. Jake, I would rather smell from 6 feet away. I'd rather smell gasoline from a can than I would from what falls out of a horse's can, if you know what I mean. And in the Artist Alley corridor, says Cindy Kemp, where I was, the crowd was Once vendors suggested that when a water main croaked next door just before the event, the traffic pattern mutated. Last year, people would exit that room, see the artist on the corner, then turn down the Artist Alley. But I sold twice compared to last year when the traffic was almost constant. Weird, but okay. Results are what matter, right, Cindy? Well done. And Molly Dan says, I will see you at SICon. I better, Molly. I better. I don't want your tyrant boss being a tyrant and keeping you from me. Darn it. We've got half a dozen gigs together. We gotta have them. And I don't let the grouches get me down. More like smirk, SMH, some people's kids. That's because you're more well adjusted than I am, Cindy. Oh, and Molly Dan says you're also the one who was too busy to meet at Red Lobster last Tuesday. I tried. I know, and it was like, okay, I've got this golden opportunity, and you weren't there. We'll get it together, Molly. We'll get it together at SICon. We'll find some place to feast. We could go back to. I suspect we might go back to that Asian place we went to last time. And there's a pizza place that's really good, but it's crowded on Saturday nights. I'm telling you. At least we can make a fire with it when it's on the road. Well, you know what, Jake? You deal with your own, and I'll deal with my own. Okay? Anyway. I have made Molly laugh. Then my whole existence has been worth it. So anyway. So we've been on the air for an hour and 42 minutes and change. And I caught the comments. Yay me. Hold on, one more. And with that, I'm out. That's the way I started the show. Oh my God. And I know she keeps saying fantastic, Brian, says the Skunk Cracker, but I worry that I'll start another project and I'll get an email from her saying, hey, can you change this and then the other thing? You know it won't happen until you start that other project. I mean, I had the same thing, Skunk, last week. I was actually wrapping up a book edit for a publisher, but I'm also in another book. I'm in an anthology from that publisher, and Cookie was editing it. She wears many hats, and whereas I wear mostly fezzes. But um, I was one. She had three authors. I was one of them, and she was making corrections. And I'm like, well, just hand it to me. Just put it on this little thumb drive here, and I'll deal with it right now. And so I give it back to her, and she's like, I found some more stuff. Here, fix this too. And I'm like, okay. So every time I'm trying to make some headway editing, I said, okay, dear. Yes, dear. And I did what she needed me to do. We finally got it done. The story's really tight now. She did a great job on editing. I'll deny it to my dying day, probably. But no, she's not in the next room. I'm just force of habit. Is she overhearing me? She's probably at work right now, going, I must kill the husband. But no. So that took a day, and then the next day we had some running around to do. So I killed 2 days off of my editing, but I still got it done on my original schedule. So I made up 2 days worth of work over the next 3 days. I was very happy with myself. But anyway, this other project, when it comes out, and it should be soon because they've got the cover. I think it's in the formatting, or it might be in the galley phase right now. I don't know. But if not, it's in the formatting phase and shouldn't be too long before you see it. And I'm really excited because I had a blast writing it. It was so much fun. We'll tell you more when it comes up. And Cindy kept goes, woo! And I got to go, woo, back at you. And everyone take care and stay creative. Love you all. Love you too, Rick. You have a great, great day, dude, and hope things get better for you. And like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Nicholas Anthony Tucker. And when you do that, also go to Nick's channel, all right, and the Historical Fencing Guild, and give it some love too. And I'm glad she's liking it so far. That makes me feel great. Skunk, you've got a great voice. You're so creative. How could she not? But in all seriousness, they did that in the Old West to keep fires going when it was raining, says illusionist and spiritual truth. That's true, but we didn't have automobiles most of the time back then. There were some internal combustion engines, though, if you do your research. And Molly Dance says, I shared one page of the beach story, and because I mentioned 5 people, a certain member was confused and told me I had too many characters. What the? Yeah, seriously. Well, we're always going to get that, Molly. If we put in 5 characters on a page, somebody's going to, we're going to have 10 people telling us you got too many characters on there. They've got 10 people telling us, well, you don't have enough on there. And then you've got probably 100 people that don't say a word but love what you're doing. So, Skunk, there will be a few edits. Somewhere you read what I write, but I goofed. But overall, very cool stuff. And she's up to chapter 7. Skunk, I hope you're listening. You just got a progress report, brother. All right. And with my writers group, geez, will the fingers keep up with the brain already? Maybe I need breakfast. Have a great day, all. Molly, bon appetit. A much needed one, apparently. So anyway, you take care, Molly, and thank you for being here. And thank you all for being here. I think we're going to wrap this up right now because now you guys talk about eggs and omelets and stuff, and I'm feeling a bit peckish right now, and God knows we've got an emergency right here. So anyway, first of all, we got to thank, and someone who makes this work. Well, actually, let's go this route here. First of all, we want to thank the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, who bring you information and illumination 7 days a week. And it's Mondays. That's right. Rick Bradley's new gaming show will be starting soon on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Rick Bradley's R&D Gaming. And Wednesday's kind of open right now. But anyway, check it out. And in lieu of Rick Bradley, go see Michaela Jade on author Michaela Jade's channel because we love her. And she's got Tidbits and Scribbles tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And I may or may not be there. Carl Witzman will probably be there. Probably Donna Carlene, who we missed this morning. And some other, and Dan Holofield and other luminaries of the independent literary world. So definitely check it out, and please go to Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook and get this. And Scott Cracker says, well, all right, then you have a wonderful day, Brian. Thanks again for everything, man. Hey, brother, so glad to see you here. Glad you got the pet the puppy. And you have an awesome day, my friend. You deserve it. And Cindy Cap says, catch up with you all there. Must go lunch. Don't forget to tip your host and hashtag bring cookie home. Love you, Cindy. Thank you very much. And Michaela, I'll pop in around 9:30, says Molly Daniels. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Sierra Murphy, our Russian spy bot. Let's see. I think I'm going to we're going to block that user. All right. Goodbye, Sierra Murphy. Commie bedwetter, you. But anyway, check out the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And also, please check us out on YouTube and other places. Please like, share, and subscribe. And a sincere thank you to our Patreon supporters, many of whom on this page have their own active Patreon pages. But we offer you stuff in exchange for a modest monthly stipend from you. $1 will get you peeks at our exclusive blog, which I'm going to write as soon as I get some more coffee. And also, we do it Mondays and Thursdays, if possible. And we're doing pretty good at it so far. But anyway, also check out some of these people. They've got some great Patreon pages of their own. But if you want to help support the Rising Tide mission, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and see what we offer you for your financial support. And we also want to thank the financial support of members like you. Yes, I used to work in PBS, but also Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. You want to see some great covers? You want to see a great cover on your book? Then get a hold of Plasma Fire Graphics. Check out their Facebook page, and then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and check out more samples that are in publication, not just a wannabe. This guy gets the work done. He's really easy to deal with, and his prices are ooh-la-la, indie creator friendly. So check out Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And so we are ready to close this out now. Again, thank you everyone for contributing to this episode. Thank you to everyone watching, whether you're live or on the rerun. Leave us a comment, if you will, wherever you're seeing this, and we'll try to get back to you, all right? Especially on YouTube. And like I said, please like, share, and subscribe, and get your friends to join the madness here. Pops Van Zandt is the only one that's got comic madness. We got overall madness. So please check it out. Check out the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Check out risingtide.pub. And please sign up for my free monthly newsletter. Next issue goes out April Fool's Day, but it won't be any laughing matter. We're going to keep you up on where we're going to be all year round. The Rising Tide literary assault has begun in Kokomo, and we're traveling to Illinois a couple times next month and other places, so please check out where we're going. We'd love to see you there, because we got books, including brand new, just hot off the presses, Oof, Boff, Splat, the third and final Subterranean Blue Grotto essay on Batman 66, the 1966 Batman TV show, season number 3. I have an article in there, but there's many other great writers in there with a great appreciation of that old show, and you will love that book. It's very well done. I'm so proud to be a part of it. But anyway, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. And today, the weather's going to be pretty craptastic in some areas, but nothing brightens the day like a smile. Please give it to somebody, especially a stranger, because you don't know who you're helping. And that's what we're here about at the Rising Tide Network. And if you need any help, let us know. We'll do what we can for you if we can. And as always, folks, we want to thank you all for being here. I'm author Brian K. Morris, asking you to stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great day. We will see you Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. on a brand new live edition of Nevermind the Furthermore, NTF Forever. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. If you enjoyed any part of this show, please give it a like or a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a tale of irreverent holiday horror, told with much inappropriate humor. Dr. Victor Frankenstein creates the spirit of giving himself. Ho, ho, ho. Santastein, or the post-holiday Prometheus. Available at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Secrets. Trust. Worth. The bond between souls intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela Jade brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret. Warrior's Trust. And Warrior's Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
The original intention of the film was just for my personal use, but I thought with it being such a unique thing that I'd like to offer it to anybody who wants to see it. On the first visit, Jack took us into his another room, a separate room, and there were these brown parcels full of artwork piled up, and he said to me, "You draw like I do." We were in the studio for 5 hours, you know, it was fantastic. And there's this, he's got this desk, and everything he's ever drawn has come from this desk. And then I would just go with the flow, and that's what this film is about. It's just a unique film of him.
He says, "I beat you." He says, "They say we came in under the dead heat." He says, "That's not true because I beat you." And the American said, "Well," he says, "if you like to think so," he says, "but I know a real story." He says, I know I clearly won that one." Well, Joe is 6'3", and I was a runt, from the Lower East Side. And being Joe's partner was an advantage to me because Joe was believable, you know, they would talk to Joe, and the Goodman brothers would get to know him. Martin Goodman owned Marvel at that time. He went to his mother and he says, "Look, Jackie got a job drawing." He says, "They're paying him part, they're paying him money for drawing." He says, "Suppose I go with Jackie," he says, "and He says, they'll pay me money. He says, I'll draw and they'll pay me money. He said, I'll give the money to you, which we did. We gave it all to our mothers. They called me from Nassau. You know, I lived in Long Island. And they say, would you like to come down and draw these guys in training? I swear, this is not a story. And I said, yes, of course, I'd love to come down.
Now on Sunday mornings, longtime independent comics creator Randy Zimmerman brings to you a podcast that talks about the lighter and more whimsical side of comics, the fun side of comics. That's right. Sunday Funnies is back Sunday morning, 9 a.m. on the Raging 2 YouTube channel and on certain Facebook pages. Check it out, won't you? Special guests, great talk, and a lot of fun as we work to put the fun back in funny books. See you there.
Hi, my name is Erin Casey, this is Nova, and I want to talk to you about the Purple Door District. It's an urban fantasy series about parahumans living in Chicago, werebirds, werewolves, vampires, and witches. You can find them all in the district. But I'll let my book trailer tell you more about the 3 books. I'm coming to you today with this Kickstarter to ask for funds to help print the 3rd book, as well as to order more books of the Purple Door District and Wolfhead. With COVID, printing prices have gone up, and it also takes a community to build these books. The author, the proofreaders, the copy editors, the sensitivity readers, and artists. There's so many people that go into creating this, and I want to support them just as they've supported me. Without these funds, I can't bring this book to you. I can't bring a well-edited book and one with an amazing cover. So if you could donate just a little bit, that would be amazing. And if you can't donate, please share this around to your community. It helps more than you know. Thank you so much, and welcome to the district.
Author Cindy Kepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Stormgate Press presents a collection of 7 new short stories from today's leading authors and illustrators in the new pulp genre. Experience courageous two-fisted heroes and their intrepid and often dangerous exploits. From dark, watery depths to high-flying heights, these fantastic tales span the globe and take the reader on fast-paced adventures in classic pulp style. Take a seat as we pull back the curtain on Days Gone By, with edge-of-your-seat storytelling in the vein of Golden Age era pulp fiction. This is Pulp Reality, available now from Stormgate Press on Amazon.com. From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam with an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication. Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.